also keep you broke. But today we're going to be touching about it. I'm not going to be the only one teaching today. We'll have people like Warren Buffett, we'll have like Dario, the CEO, would have quite a number of people. Dave Ramsey, Tony Robbins. These are all coaches called to leap. These are all coaches. Rich BFF. These are different coaches that teaches you on personal finance. There's so many of the online advices that could make you wealthy, and there's so many of them that can keep you broke. So which of them would keep you wealthy? Which of them will keep you broke? Let's talk about it. And it gives you the opportunity to have question and answers. So I have all of my team members that will be teaching us today to buttress what you see online. It doesn't make sense, or where should you cut it out? And that's what we're going to be doing today. So welcome in. And if you're just meeting me, I am Dr. Lina, Doctor of Business and Technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. And if you're just here to this community for the first time, welcome, because this community is the community of millionaires. As a matter of fact, this is what we call the $1,000,000 League. So the community of people that is planning or working towards achieving that $1,000,000 status, or you're already there, but you also want to scale and become a multi-millionaire. If that's your goal, using that your 9 to 5 income, then you are in the right place. And I am happy to be your wealth coach, teaching you the strategies and the plans to get right there. So welcome each and every one of us. And let's keep tapping out the live. Let's share the live on my YouTube. Today we have both the YouTube and the TikTok community. Talk about efficiency, productivity. That's what we do here, right? We have both the YouTube and the TikTok community. So for the YouTube, click on that subscribe button. And for the TikTok, all that you have to do is tap out the live. We're going to talk about investing. We'll talk about real estate, things about ETF, businesses, wealth, debt payoff, right? Savings, beginner investing, 401k, questions about spouses and family. We're going to be touching all of that areas today. But guess what? I'm not the only one teaching. There are going to be a lot of people. So invite your friends over, tap out the live, share out the live, click on the subscribe button and click on the follow button and join the $1,000,000 League. Welcome here. It's all about investing. It's all about any questions you may have. It's all about, this is your free consultation. And of course, from so many other people, let's get their perspective. So have you ever wondered, why do people make income? Of course, today we were all just paid. Everybody smiled to the bank. Guess what? In 3 days or 4 days, what happens? People get frustrated again and like, okay, I'm back on the horse. I'm back on the horse again, trying to grind the wheels, because guess what? The paycheck is over. The honeymoon is over. And that is what happens. That's the cycle that a lot of people go through. But then how then do you end that? How do you end that? Welcome, not average. Welcome in. How are you? And click on the subscribe button. And if you're just meeting me, welcome to the $1,000,000 League, a community of millionaires. Those that are aspiring to be one, and of course, those that are already one, using the strategy here, not to get rich quick scheme, but strategies that help you to get to that $1,000,000 status. Let's tap out the live. Let's share out the live. Click on that subscribe button. Click on the follow button and join the $1,000,000 League. We follow strategies that are very simple, using 4 pillars of wealth creation. It starts with your income, right? Guess what? What were we taught in school? Go to school, get a job, and of course, start working hard. When you work hard, what happens? Buy a house, run a family, pay your bills. That's what we were. That's the narrative, right? And thank you all for tapping out the live, right? That's the narrative. But how is that narrative helping? How has it helped? Wow. Oh, Injani, welcome. Just click on the subscribe button right there. Thank you so much for the compliment. Really appreciate that. Click on there. Daughter White Yahweh, welcome in. And everyone, let's keep tapping out the live. Share out the live. I know that's what we do in this community. And click on the subscribe button. And if you have not clicked on that follow button to join the $1,000,000 League, then yeah, what are we doing? Marco, welcome in, and every other person. Let's tap out the live. Today is just question and answer, and it's that Friday where we get so many other people teaching you, like the diary of the CEO. We have like Dave Ramsey, we have Tony Robbins, we have the legend himself, the owner of Hathaway. I wish they would be here in person, but guess what? They will be teaching us virtually. So welcome, just the same way I'm teaching you. And let's see what they got to say about investing, about real estate, about ETFs, about wealth building, about businesses, about debt payoff, right? Should you pay off your debt before investing, or should you invest before paying debt, paying off debt? What do they say about it, right? About saving. Should you be saving or should you invest, right? Would saving make you rich or not, right? Those are things we're going to be talking about. Click on that follow button, click on that subscribe button for those on the YouTube side. So let me start with this. I always tell you something. I say that where does the wealthy put their money, right? I always ask that question. Where does the wealthy put their money? And if we see that they put their money in real estate, they put their money in ETF. We've talked about the rule of 70 to tell you how long it's going to take your money. Take the number 72 divided by that rate of return, like 0.01. It's going to give you the number of years it's going to take your money to double. I also say something. A lot of times the middle class will put the money where? We put our money in the bank, right? But guess what? It's never going to make you wealthy. Using that calculation, 72 divided by 0.01, what do you get? 7,200 years is what is going to take your money to double. But if you take something as simple as, putting it in an IU savings account, put it in an S&P 500, your normally would double in less than 7 years or less, even 5 years, even 3 years. So that is how you build wealth. And thank you all for sharing out the life. But then, aside the fact that they put their money, right? They don't put their money in the bank, which the middle class does. Let's talk about taxes. Taxes. And I would show you something. I wanted to show this yesterday. The middle class pays the highest taxes, and I want to show it to you. Look at this video. And like I said, I'm not the only one teaching today. You would watch this video and it would give you perspective. I'm not the only one teaching today. So it's this man right here. I hope you can say this man right here, and you would listen to what he has to say. Just listen.
Billions to charity, but somehow get richer doing it. Here's what wealthy people actually do. Imagine you made $50 million this year selling a business, and the IRS wants about $18 million of it. Instead of handing that over to the government, you donate it to your own private foundation. It sounds incredibly generous and looks amazing on paper, but behind the scenes, the money goes into an organization that you control, manage, and can even use to pay yourself a salary. You have essentially donated the money to yourself, but with a massive tax break. From there, it gets even better. Because it is a legal foundation, the money can be used to buy an office, host lavish fundraising events, hire your family members as directors, and cover travel, meals, and conferences, all completely tax-free. The money never actually leaves your orbit. It just changes clothes from personal income to charitable foundation expense. It is the exact same destination, just under a different label. Of course, these foundations do a little bit of actual good. They might feed some kids, build a school, take some great photos, and call the local news, but that usually accounts for maybe 10% of the money. The other 90% goes right back into running the foundation that funds their lifestyle. At that point, it isn't really charity anymore. It is money laundering with better PR, and it is completely legal. That is exactly why every billionaire eventually starts a foundation, because at the end of the day, it isn't about saving the world, it is about saving their tax bill. Why do billionaires donate billions to charity but somehow get richer doing it? Here's what wealthy people actually do. Imagine you made $50 million this year selling a business, and the IRS wants about $18 million of it.
I got 2 questions for you.
All right, so that's one thing right there. Trump charity got shut down. Okay, yes, it tells you something, right? It tells you, look at you today. How much was your taxes? How much did you probably paid 30%, 25%, 32%, 28% deducted from your account. But guess what? The wealthy don't do that. They always look for Sephora. Welcome in, and everyone. Paul, thank you for tapping out the live. Welcome in. And, the thing about it is that the wealthy, remember, this community is called the $1 Million League. So why is this very important? You want to understand the way the wealthy, the way they think, the way they operate, the multimillionaires, the way they operate. If you understand the way they operate, if you understand the way they operate, you would realize that you would get, even if you don't get to become a multi-millionaire, you get to that $1 million status. You get to that $1 million status, which of course might be sufficient, right? Some people do not even want more than that, right? So think about what is I just explained and I just showed you, or you just listened to. How interesting that is. Guess what? Somebody makes 20 million. Thank you so much for sharing out the live, and thank you all for tapping out the live. And of course, click the follow button and join the $1 million league. Now, so think about it. Somebody makes $20 million. And the person is, oh, thank you so much for the daily. You people should to how they increase income before they can manage. Yes, to increase the income, join the Wealth Building Academy. Trust me, we have a whole wealth building curriculum here, right? We have the Wealth Building Academy that is coming the June the 6th. So you'll find the link in my bio. Click on it, and then you would understand how to increase your income. As a matter of fact, I increased my income by $30,000 about 14 years ago, just not going back to college, with $500 and in less than 5 months. So definitely it is number one. Yes, it's number one within, right? Number one step. Income first before we even start talking about investing. So very good point, right, Richard? So click on the what's it called? Go on the bio, you'll find the link to the Wealth Building Academy, and it's all about how you increase your income. And as a matter of fact, we have 4 to 6 doctors, PhDs, that will be coming to teach you how to increase your income, including people that give scholarship, like executive director of scholarships in one of the leading universities. Yes, it is free. Yes, Richard, it is free. You find the link in the bio, or just send me it's free. It's free, but registration is required. It's June the 6th, which is next week, Saturday. So click on that subscribe button. Go on, you'll find it right there on it's the only link next to me / Money Talk with Dr. Lina. The class is almost full, by the way. So if you want to learn how to do that, that's the first pillar. So back to what we're saying, and thank you so much for the daily admin. Let's click out the yes, absolutely. You're welcome, Richard. You're welcome. That's the first thing first. So now we understand that income, right? Now that you have the income, right, Richard, right? Pi 212, right? Indewe, Angela, daughter of Yahweh. Think about it. You have that income. You have this money. You are making 300,000 hypothetically, or you went through somebody just made that purchase. Congratulations to you securing your spot in the Wealth Building Academy. Imagine you now earn 300,000, and all of a sudden somebody wants to take 32% out of it. What is left? Or you make 200,000 or 250,000, and somebody decides to take how much out of it? Decide to take 28%, 30%. What do you have left? But guess what? That 30%, you can actually use it for yourself, right? This is exactly the strategies that the multimillionaires use. Right, another person just made that purchase. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Now, think about it. They'll tell you, oh, we have charity. We are opening up a charity. Guess what? Who is behind that charity? That's it. On it, somebody made a profit of $20 million. But know that $20 million, I have to pay maybe about 8 million in taxes or 6 million in taxes. Instead of taking that 6 million, they use it towards a charity that is in their name. And guess what? Maybe they do charity of 10% out of the 8 million, which is put about maybe 90% back in their pocket. And this is the same strategy that middle class don't have. Because middle class, guess what? You have 200,000, you have a fixed tax system that 32%, if you cross over 150,000 to 180,000, your tax goes up. From 180,000 to 220,000, it goes further up, right? So, but guess what? What you have to do is think and act like the millionaires. So what do I mean by this? Register, and this time worked. Yay! Awesome. Congratulations to yourself for taking that action and taking your spot in the Wealth Building Academy. So think about it. If you do not see, and what do I mean? I might be like, oh, I don't need that charity. The charity is not working. Is this, is that, I cannot even do that. I'm excited too. I can't do this. I don't even know how to go about that, right? But guess what? As little as real estate, I told you I got over $20,000 back. Even with my vice president's income, with my income as a professor, that's double income, right? That in itself, tells you something that this method actually works. You can buy real estate. If you buy real estate, I told you of my friend, which also told my client how she was pay her taxes was $70,000. Like when you file your taxes, not the one she's paying every month. When she filed her taxes, it was $70,000. Thank you so much for the roses and all the gifts, Sephora. Sephora is absolutely amazing. You guys need to connect with her right there. So think about it. At 70,000, and then guess what? The following year, she bought two properties, and that following year, her taxes reduces to $10,000. Even that after she filed her tax return, guess that's because even that same year she made more income, right? Made more income. That means her taxes maybe move from a 32% and to maybe like a 15%. That's because she moved from being an earner to being an owner. Yeah, thank you so much, Sephora. You move from being an earner to being an owner because that's the only time when you can actually change something about your taxes. And I'm glad. I want us to listen to it one more time, right? And I want us to listen to it one more time before I wrap up, and then we'll go to another person to teach us, right? Another.
Why do billionaires donate billions to charity but somehow get richer doing it? Here's what wealthy people actually do. Imagine you made $50 million this year selling a business, and the IRS wants about $18 million of it. Instead of handing that over to the government, you donate it to your own private foundation. It sounds incredibly generous and looks amazing on paper, but behind the scenes, the money goes into an organization that you control, manage, and can even use to pay yourself a salary. You have essentially donated the money to yourself, but with a massive tax break. From there, it gets even better. Because it is a legal foundation, the money can be used to buy an office, host lavish fundraising events, hire your family members as directors, and cover travel, meals, and conferences, all completely tax-free. The money never actually leaves your orbit. It just changes clothes from personal income to charitable foundation expense. It is the exact same destination, just under a different label. Of course, these foundations do a little bit of actual good. They might feed some kids, build a school, take some great photos, and call the local news, but that usually accounts for maybe 10% of the money. The other 90% goes right back into running the foundation that funds their lifestyle. At that point, it isn't really charity anymore. It is money laundering with better PR, and it is completely legal. That is exactly why
Money laundering under tax break. Yes, absolutely, it's tax breaks. And guess what, a lot of times we would think that is illegal, but guess what, it is not. It's not. So we have to change our mindset. That's why you have to think like think like what you want to become. Think like what you want to become. All right, so let's look at another one. Let's look at another person. Whenever I tell you something about where's my I always talk about, let's talk about investing, right? That is about, tax break. And that's why whenever I talk about real estate, I go passionate about it. Real estate gives you the you see tax benefit. That's one of the major advantages or major benefits of how to, of getting tax break as an income earner, especially if you are earning high income and you want to learn how to increase your income without going back to college, or if you want to go back to college and go to college for free, like absolutely free, right? Getting scholarships and all of those things. Make sure you go to the link in my bio, nestu.me/Money Talk with Dr. Lina. There's the Wealth Building Academy. It's free, but registration is required. As a matter of fact, we have limited seats left, and once the seat is done, it's done. So you don't want to miss that. Like executive director of graduate admissions and scholarship will be there to teach. There's also going to be chief information security officer. There is multiple people that will teach AI cybersecurity. They will teach different things that would help you, how they also move from one career, pivoted from one career to the other to just increase their income. So you don't want to miss that. Limited seats available. So let's look for another one. And I always talk about Warren Buffett, right? I talk about Warren Buffett. Who knows Warren Buffett? That is my, is my absolute love. He's an old man, but guess what? He's a multi-millionaire. But it's one of the strategies that I use and I learn and we use within this community, which is the $1 Million League. This is the $1 Million League. So if you're just new here, Welcome in. Make sure you click the follow button and join the $1 Million League. This is a community of millionaires. All right, and let's share out the live. Let's tap out the live. We try to get to 10,000 taps within the first 10 minutes and also share out the live. Invite your friends over. Let them come and learn. And today is just about live question and answers, where we also get input, do reaction videos, and review what other teachers or other coaches talk about. So welcome in each and every one of us. All right, so let's go to this. And the is it the richest man or second richest man talking about who? About my favorite love, which is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is the owner of Hathaway, Berkshire. Okay, so they call him the investor of all time. So whenever you are investing, right, always look for the people that have already succeeded in it. Stop looking at the people on social media. Some of them that will tell you, oh, you double your money overnight. Are they already millionaires? If they are not, then why are you following them? Why are you taking your time, to watch and follow what they do? So let's look at what Jeff Bezos, and this is Warren Buffett's rule. Even Jeff Bezos listens to Warren Buffett's. Jeff Bezos is the owner of Amazon. He listens to Warren Buffett. So if Jeff Bezos, who is the second richest, I think, what's this man? The other one is the first, SpaceX. That's number one. Number two, listens to Warren Buffett in terms of investing. Why won't I listen to him? So look at what he has to say.
Why don't more people copy your investment strategy? It's not that difficult to understand in principle. And he said, oh, Jeff, that's easy. My approach is a get rich slowly scheme. People don't like those. And so, but there's a lot of truth in that for everything, which is if you can think in terms of 7 years instead of 3 years, right, and you can defer gratification and think long term, that will give you a head start against all of your competitors, because most people can't do that. And then the last thing that translates to Blue Origin really well, all of these do, is what we call taking professional pride in operational excellence. And so I'm talking about the details that nobody but you will ever know. I once asked Warren Buffett, why don't more people copy your investment strategy? It's not that difficult to understand in principle. And he said, oh, Jeff, that's easy. My approach is a get rich slowly scheme. People don't like those. And so, but there's a lot of truth in that for everything.
People don't like those get rich slowly. It's not really slowly, right? See, that's the thing. You want to become, this is the second man, like the second richest man in the world. At least Amazon. That's him. If you want to, you don't know what he looks like. That is him being interviewed right there. And he's talking about the most, as of this moment, the most successful person alive when it comes to investing. That is what they call Warren Buffett. And then he's asking, it's the interview between the two of them, saying that, okay, you know what, Mr. Warren, why don't they follow your strategy? It's easy, right? And he says that it's because it's easy. People want get rich quick scheme. People want instant gratification. Remember what I checked it yesterday. Sephora said tiny improvement repeated over time. Consistency, right? There's something called a little drop of water can actually break a rock. And I say it and I will prove it to you again. Rule of 72. Take 72 and divide it by, let's do S&P 500. S&P 500. If you put your money in an S&P 500 for the past 10 years, so from 2016 till date, that's 10 years, you would have gotten about 15% or 14 to 15%. That's 14.5% average, right? If you use it, you would see that your money will double in 4 years. Let's assume that you're consistently putting $20, right? Or $27. Yeah, it makes an ocean. Yes, you consistently start putting $27. That is $10,000 a year. $10,000 a year. That is $27. My daughter just woke up. Will try. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, say hello to your daughter, right? And let's keep tapping out the live, share the live, and make sure you click on the subscribe button and the follow button, right? So think about it. $27 times 365 days. That is $10,000, right? $10,000. Do that 27. That's 1 year. Do it for 10 years, $100,000. Or that $100,000, now your money doubles every 5 years, right? Every 5 years. It means that your 100,000 becomes, with compound interest, $100,000 becomes what? It becomes $200,000. $100,000 becomes $200,000 in 5 years, and you be like, oh, you know what? But guess what? It starts with $27 a day, which a lot of people spend. As a matter of fact, people can confirm it. They spend that on a daily basis. Let's keep tapping out the live and share out the live. Thank you so much for doing that. Tap out the live, share out the live. Click on the subscribe button so that we can get more people to come and learn, right? So think about it. Like $27, that's for you do it for 10 years. That's 100,000. Take that 100,000, right? While you have it, you are investing it. Your money doubles every 5 years. 10,000, your $100,000 becomes $200,000 by year 5. By year 10, your $100,000 becomes 400,000. You did not add any other thing because you have stopped your $27 after 10 years, right? You stopped your $27. You never put any other thing to it after 10 years. Now take that money. Then year 10, it becomes how much? It becomes 400,000. Year 15, your 100,000 becomes what? Your 100,000 becomes 800,000 because it's doubling every 5 years. And year 20, your 100,000 becomes what? 1.6 million. What did you start with? $27 a day. And then we always say that, oh, you know what? It's not possible. It's not. I'm telling you, a lot of people are sitting. I always say that you are sitting your retirement money. And that's what Jeff Bezos was saying here. Why? People want get rich quick scheme. 20 years might be like, oh, it's a long time. But guess what? It's just how much did you put in? $100,000, $27 a day. You were just being consistent, just came in. And what did we start with? We're talking about today is just about reaction. And we just looked at what Jeff Bezos said about, why are people not following Warren Buffett's strategy? Warren Buffett is the investor of all time. As a matter of fact, is what billions, is it 16 billion or 160 billion, right? And he has just made all that money through investing. And we just talked about his strategy, which is simple, compounding, long-term. You said money doubles in 5 years. That is the rule of 72. Rule of 72, take number 72 divided by your rate of return. You will get the interest. As a matter of fact, it's 4 years, 9 months, and 2 days, right? Take your calculator and calculate it. You would see the results right there. That's what we just talked about. But at what rate of return? 14.5%. S&P 500 has historically done in the past 10 years, 14 to 15%. So 14.5% divided by 72 divided by 14.5 will give you these 5 years that we have right here. And it could mean that if you want it to be 3 years, right, you would see it, you will get that result right there. I hope that answers your question. Life of a money. Make sure you click on that follow button. That's Funny Math. Yes, it's not Funny Math. Go on Google and check it. Go on Google right now. Here, whatever we say here, we trust but verify, right? Take your Google or ChatGPT and check Rule of 72, okay? Check Rule of 72. I did not create it, okay? There are so many rules that are available out there and you would understand. All right, so let's see another one. And let's see another one. And let me see. Okay, now let's look at Mr. Warren Buffett himself. Let's look at another person. Let's see what Warren Buffett says here, right?
Unless you expect,
that's Warren Buffett.
You expect to hold them for a very extended period, and you are prepared financially and psychologically to hold them the same way you would hold a farm and never look at a quote and never pay it. You don't need to pay attention to them. I mean, the main thing to do, and you're not going to pick the bottom, and nobody else can pick it for you or anything of the sort. You've got to be prepared to, when you buy a stock, have it go down 50% or more, and be comfortable with it as long as you're comfortable with the holding it. You shouldn't buy stocks unless you expect, in my view, you expect to hold them for a very extended period, and you are prepared financially and psychologically to hold them the same way you would hold a farm and never look at a quote and never pay it. You don't need to pay attention to them. I mean, the main thing to do, and you're not going to pick the bottom, and nobody else can pick it for you or anything of the sort. You've got to be prepared to, when you buy a stock, have it go down 50% or more and be comfortable.
Did you just, and that is his own strategy. The strategy is just the same way you have your property right now. You know that you've bought your forever home. Do you actually, and you know that, okay, you know what, it's a solid environment, you know it's going to appreciate in 10 years, you know, so do you check it like every 6 months or every 5 months or every 2 months to say, oh, my property, what's the value right now? Who does that? Because I mean, we're in a forever home now. You know, we bought that 2 years ago, and I don't think I ever go back and check. Oh, you know what? This my property. Was it what? Because I know I have bought in a very good neighborhood. Everything about it is absolutely fantastic in terms of nature, right? I see that, okay, all of the properties were already sold. It doesn't even stay in the market. It's only now that I saw that, oh, you know what, the property next to me, somebody was moving, right? And then so, oh, how much were they even selling it? That's the thing. That's the only time. This is almost 2 years after. As a matter of fact, June 12th will make it 2 years since we moved. So those are the things. Whenever it comes to investors, especially let's say you do, and that's why I do not even talk about stock. I talk about ETF, exchange traded funds. That's what I talk about the most, which is, and I'll show you for anybody. Does anybody wants to know about exchange traded funds? And I'll get you a 9-year-old to teach you today. Exchange traded funds. Do we all know exchange? If you don't know, put 0 in the comment. You know, put 1. And let's keep tapping out the live. Put 1 if you know what exchange traded fund is, and put 0 if you do not know. And let's keep tapping out the live. Great. Let's tap out the live. Let's invite our friends over. Live Money, daughter of Yahweh, Alandra. Right? Anyone wants to share, you know, put 1 if you know, 0 if you do not know. Right? I talk more about ETF, exchange traded funds versus individual stocks. Why? Just because I know that it is more solid for me and the risk is lower, right? The risk is much lower. So that's why I put my money in more of ETF whenever it all comes to the stock market, right? And let's keep tapping out the live and sharing out the live. Let's tap out the live. Let's share the live. So let me show you. A 1-year-old will teach you. Afraid, welcome and congratulations joining the $1 Million League. Congratulations joining that $1 Million League. Congratulations to you. Awesome. And thank you for tapping out the live. So think about, let me teach you. For those that know about ETF, that's great for you. But if you don't know, I'll get a 7-year-old, or is it 9-year-old to teach you, right? It's your lucky day. So you understand it better, all right?
Did you want to do an investing lesson?
Yes.
We'll go back to basics because we haven't done it in a while. What we invest in and why. Investing is a 2-step process. Deposit money into the account, purchase investments inside the account.
What do you mean by purchase investments?
Investing is the purchase of companies when you're buying with companies. So remember, we've talked about owning a piece of Apple or a piece of Google or a piece of Amazon. We can purchase a piece of that company, and that is investing in the company. What can happen though if we purchase $100 worth of Google and tomorrow Google goes bankrupt, which means they are no longer Google, they are no longer around, they are no longer a company, like bye Google. It doesn't exist anymore. What happens to the $100 that I bought of Google?
But you lost it because nobody's going to want to care because Google doesn't exist.
Yeah, so it's just we lost it. Is there risk when you're investing? Yes, there is risk. How can we mitigate, or how can we lessen the risk of investing?
I know.
You remember?
Yes. We use, I think they call it funds.
Yes.
I got
Funds.
it.
It could be index funds, it could be ETFs, but they're a fund. So what is a fund?
A fund is more than one company that you have in one fund. You could buy a fund for the same exact amount as you could buy for Google. So you could buy a fund for $100 to own one part of each of these companies. But if, like Mommy said, if Google doesn't exist anymore, you still have Apple, Costco, Netflix, Amazon, and McDonald's. So you will still have a chance, and you could still earn money by that. So even if 1 or 2 go by, you still have a plenty more, which is a lot better than just only having Google and it just goes, and then you lose all your money.
Very good. That's an amazing explanation, baby. Good job. So proud of you. And that is correct. In order
So, in order for you to lessen your risk, I hope that that really helps to drive home points whenever you're thinking of what is ETF, right? It just helps you to lessen your risk. It's one of the strategies that we use in investing, right? To help you because there is the risk in the stock market. Whenever you are investing in the stock market, I personally lost about how much? About $99,000 about 6 years ago. That's what I lost in the stock market. And I started looking at where the world they put their money. And it was when I figured out where they're putting, how they invest in the stock market. Because of course, stock market is on the list, real estate is on the list. But how? Right? Which is the Warren Buffett strategy, right? Remember, I showed you Warren Buffett, I showed you Jeff Bezos, right? In their own strategies, that particular strategy, what they use is called something called funds, right? Exchange traded funds, ETF. They use index funds instead of buying individual stocks. So if you buy that way, you are like the little girl described it, right? She said, okay, in one fund, you have Amazon, you have Apple, you have Costco, you have McDonald's, you have Exxon, you have multiple of those companies inside one basket. So it means that let's assume that Exxon folds, or let's say Apple folds up. What's going to happen to the other? You still have four other stocks, so you cannot totally lose money. And that is the strategy that you are using to hedge against risk. Because understand that if you leave your money in the bank account, of course, there is already a risk, right? There's a major big risk that is there, which is you can lose it to you will right. This one is standard. You will lose it to inflation. What does that mean? It simply means that if inflation currently is at 3.8% in the United States. As of a month ago, it was 3.3%, but now it's at 3.8%. What does this mean to your money? It means that you are losing for every $100, you are losing $3.8. And guess what? Your bank is giving you 0.01% on your bank account, except you have IU savings account where you get 3%, 4%, 5%. But even at that, you're not growing your money, but you're edging against the inflation. But if you don't, it means that you are losing 3.79%, meaning $3.79 is what you're losing on your money that is seated in that bank. And as a matter of fact, if you use the rule of 72, and you take that number right there, you'd realize that your money is going to take you 7,200 years to double if it's in the bank, aside the fact that you are losing money to inflation. So that's why but when it comes to investing, you can lose money to individual stocks because your risk is a 50-50, right? It means that, like the little girl explained, if Apple goes down, what's going to happen? Your money, you lose all of your money. But if you put some of your money, if you put your money on an ETF, which is a whole basket of several stocks, what's going to happen? In case Amazon or Apple goes down, you still have so many other stocks that is still sitting in your portfolio, such that it's still going to uphold your portfolio. Yes, the price, your money might go down a little bit, but it can never go to zero. That's why ETF is a very solid strategy, right? It's a solid strategy that we use, that it's part of the strategy that we use here in this $1 Million League. As a matter of fact, this community is called the $1 Million League because we think about protection layer first. Protection first before we even talk about anything else. Protection first before any other thing. So once we know that, okay, now you know that you put it in something like an S&P 500 has returned 8 to 12% in the past 30, 40 years. Warren Buffett puts his money there. Jeff Bezos put their money there, aside the fact that they do businesses. But then it has returned between 14 to 15% in the past 10 years. It's not me. Just check the data, right? If you take your money and you put it right there, there's no point looking every minute. The only thing is that $27 we talked about, make sure that every single time you are paying yourself first. Like today, you got your paycheck. How much have you put in your account? How much? How much did you put in your account? for your wealth building, because for you to grow your wealth, because until you pay yourself, that's where you can build wealth. If all you do is to pay bills, you would realize that you're not building wealth. You just be working to pay bills. That's all that you're doing. But if you start building, for you to build wealth, you have to learn something out of this paycheck you got today. You paid your taxes, you paid your health insurance, right? You paid social security. But then what happens after? What happens after? You take some of the money and you put it in, and you put some of the money for yourself. That is the only one that helps you for your wealth building. You have your 401k, you have your Roth IRA, you have your HSA, and then you have your own personal brokerage that it's going to grow over time. Think about it. You have 10,000 and it's giving you 14%. As a matter of fact, S&P 500, which is an ETF, popular ETF, returned 18% last year. That's what it does. So you want to put your money in a safe net that's going to make sure that your money is growing. Okay? So that is what, and that's the strategy of Warren Buffett. And of course, consistency, compounded, right? Dollar cost averaging. Buy, the market is high, the market is low, you are buying. You are buying like a clockwork. The same way you are not looking at, your property value every minute. Hey, Opa, welcome in. And thank you for tapping on. You do not looking at, property is up, property is down. The price of property, what's it today? And because of that, you are panicking. You're saying you want to sell your primary residence. Just the same way, you're not doing that. If you have something that is solid, an investment in a stock or ETF that is solid, there's no reason for you to panic, even if it goes down, because you have the data behind it. It's not, it means that even through COVID, these are still done well. That's what it means. Averagely, it has still done well. And I just told you how $27 became 1.6 million by consistently putting $27 away for 10 years, every single day. For 10 years, that brings you 100,000. 100,000 is all that you put in. But in 20 years, guess how much you get? 1.6 million. Putting it in an S&P 500. And then we're still wondering, is it possible, right? It's impossible to build wealth. And I'll show you another content that somebody, so that you know, whenever and you can put it in your Roth IRA. Roth IRA is good for your retirement because it's absolutely good because it grows tax-free. So imagine that your $100,000, it goes to 1.6 million. All you get is 1.6 million. You're not going to be paying capital gain taxes on it. That's the beauty of Roth IRA. And let me show you somebody. Mike Lane, he said, see, this is his own video. And he says, what happens if you invest? Let me turn it around. What happens if you invest? And make sure you are clicking on the follow button, joining the $1 Million League, clicking on the subscribe button if you haven't, and sharing out the live, tapping out the live. So it did say, what happens if you invest 7,500? So 7,500 is your Roth IRA limit in a whole year. Your Roth IRA limit in a whole year. So what happens if you started contributing you start contributing as of this year? So 2026. In 2026, it becomes 7,500. Next year, you contribute consistently for another 5 years. In 2031, your money is going to become 57,867, right? So because you are maxing out and that, remember, your Roth IRA, 7,500, that's 6,025, $312.50 every paycheck if you are paid every 2 weeks. And then that's like how much in a day? That's like, is it $12? No, that's like $20, a little bit above $20. That's what it is, or thereabout. That's what you pay for every single day. That's your lunch money. Averagely, people lunch is about that amount right now. So 2026, 7,500. 27, you do the same thing. You consistently, you're putting $20 every single day for another 5 years. It's going to become what? 57,867. 757575. How much is that? That is actually 30. You actually put 37,500. That's all that you put in, but you get 57,867. By 2036, you get 138,000, which is 10 years after, right? 138, actually 139,000. By 2041, you get 269,000. By 2046, you get 480,000. By 2051, you get 818,000. By 2056, you get 1.3 million. That's him using the S&P, not using the 40 years data of S&P 500. Here's the kicker, about 1.139 million of that is growth. So all that you contributed, right? All you contributed was about 200,000. But guess what? You get what's 200,000, right? But you get 1.2 million in terms of compounding right here. So that is the time, the power of compounding, the power of time in the market. Power of time in the market. So I brought all of this so that you would know the difference when I say time in the market versus time in the market. And that's one of the biggest investment strategy. And let's keep tapping out the life. And if you are just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology. And I help professionals turn their income into really wealth. I have been investing for close to 2 decades, own and manage double-digit real estate portfolio. And I help you, teach you this strategy using 4 pillars of wealth creation. So if your goal is to get to that $1 million status in 10 years or less, click on that follow button, share out the live, get your daily admin, and of course, welcome to the party on your journey to the $1 million status. This is not get rich quick scheme, no, but this is definitely strategies that people like Warren Buffett follows. And as a matter of fact, we have been analyzing the strategies that the multimillionaires follow. So we're talking about the time in the market, time in the market. So I'll show you another one so that you understand whenever we say time in the market, what that means. Let me flip them. So this is another one. How investing changes in 10 years. So look at it. How investing changes in 10 years. Starting at age 20, monthly contribution, if you start contributing $400, total years, 45 years, total contribution, you contributed from age 20, you start contributing $400. So that means $200 every paycheck, right? Total contribution is $216,000. Total balance at the age of 65 is 2.9,061,951. So it's a little bit short of $3 million. How much did you contribute? 216,000 to get what? $3 million, right? 216, that's a power of compound interest. And that's why you might be like, and guess what? If that was in your Roth IRA, guess what? If that was in your Roth IRA, that means your money will simply, your money, you're not going to be paying capital gain taxes on over 2.7 million. You're not going to be paying taxes on it. That's because, but let's now look at it. If you now decide to say, okay, I did not start investing at age 20. So let's assume you missed it. The reason why you need to let your kids start early. Akira, welcome in, and thank you all for tapping out the live, sharing out the live, inviting your friends over. It's live Q&A. Feel free to ask questions, but at the same time, we are reacting to videos because we want other people to teach us today, not just Dr. Lina every time. We're just analyzing other people's videos to also as a form of teaching, of learning, right? So let's assume that you now wait till 30 years, right? Age 30, you wait another 10 years. Monthly contribution, the same $400. Total number of years that you spend investing is 35 years. Total contribution is 168,000. But guess what are you going to get? 1.1 million, like 1.2 million. So the first one, if you start at contributing the same thing, if you start at age 20, you get 3 million. If you start at age 30, you get 1.2 million. Thereabout. But you contributed 168,000, but in the other one you contributed 216,000, just 40,000 or 50,000 more. But guess what? You got over 1.8 million in compound interest. So the time, whenever you hear people say time in the market, always supersede time in the market. You saying that, okay, I will invest tomorrow, it's already, you're taking away time. You're losing money That's what it means. Time is money. Let's now wait. Okay, now the person is now 40 and you just met Dr. Lina, right? You just met Dr. Lina. Let me start investing. And you say that, okay, monthly contribution, $400. Total number of years, and you're doing it to age 65. You contribute diligently for 25 years, right? Total contribution is 120,000, which is 48,000 less than person in age 30. Guess what you get? You get 448,000. You get 120,000 to get 448,000, which is still pretty decent. But compared to somebody that contributed 168,000 and got 1.1 million. Now look at the person that only contributed 216,000, but guess what? Got $3 million. So it's just a function of you starting early. Starting early is very crucial when it comes to investing. Feel free to ask your question, guys, and let's keep tapping out the live. Let's keep tapping out the live. Let's share the like. Click on the follow button if you are finding this valuable. Click on the follow button. All right.
20, the other waits until 30. Both invest the same $500 every month, but their results completely different. Why? Because of something often called the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. It's simple. Your money doesn't just grow. It starts creating more money on its own. If you start investing $500 a month at 20, by the time you reach 60, your portfolio could grow to nearly $6 million. But if you delay just 10 years and begin at 30, that same $500 a month may only grow to about $1.7 million. That small delay could cost you over $4 million. The lesson here is powerful. You can always earn more money, but you can never earn back lost time. Time is the most valuable financial asset you will ever have. So start early and let time work for you. Imagine two people. One starts investing at
So it's in the little things, okay? It's in the, these are different people. Different people, because I also listen and I learn from other people. Nobody is an island. I always want to learn from others as well. So you see me, when I see something that is very beneficial, I take note of it, and that's what we do on Fridays. Aside the fact that I am learning myself, I just also want to be able to share it with each and every one of us so that you can also learn. And it's not going to be like, oh, Dr. Lina, how is that possible? Like somebody just said, oh, that's in funny maths, right? I mean, this is two other different people. Because yes, I totally agree with you. It feels like unbelievable. How can $400,000, $400, that you contributed for a couple of years, how can that become 3 million? It's unbelievable, because $400 is not even, that's like $11 a day, or maybe $12 a day, right? How is it even possible for that to become $1 million? Talk more of 3 million. Unless you put the numbers, and that's why they call it the eighth wonder of the world. I've talked about some of my money is another currency, right? That all I put in was 3 million, maybe 4 million, right? I wish it was in the USD, right? 3 million or 4 million. Guess what? In 10 years or a little bit, guess what? It's already 40 million. I did not add anything to it. That is the power of compounding. It's just a function of the rate of return. And if you want to learn everything about how to start investing and all of that, you'll find the link in my bio, Money Talk with Dr. Lina. You find the link in the bio, and you'll be able to learn everything about how to invest. It's called the Smart Investing Workshop. How to turn that your income to real wealth, right? Turn your income into real wealth. That's what it's all about. And it's going to teach you how to buy ETF. What ETF should you buy? Why should you buy each of the ETF, right? And of course, set up the automation to make sure that it's hands-free. Everything that you need, do it one time, and you make sure that, okay, you are building wealth and paying yourself automatically every single paycheck. If you want to know about that, you can put one in the comment, or you can just go step out and you'll find it in my bio, which is Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Next.me/forward/ Money Talk with Dr. Lina. You'll find the link in my bio and you'll find the Smart Investing Workshop. And then we have the Wealth Building Academy as we're wrapping up, because I cannot do long today. I have a teenager that starts his first job today. Queen Sarah, welcome in. How are you? Welcome in. Yeah, that I have to take for his first job so that they can do the summer jobs and start saving for Roth IRA. Start saving at as early as a teenager. Start putting money away your Roth IRA, so that by the age of 30, even if they decide not to put anything more, they already get to that $1 million status. And because of course it's about time in the market, it is not about it's not about how old you are, but how long you start, how early you start it. That's what's going to help you build wealth. All right, let me see if there's any other one. Right. And I just want us to know something. I want you to know something. If all that you're doing is you're trading your time for money, you'd realize that the true wealth is in what age can you start investing in Roth IRA? Ideally, the legal age is 18, right? However, there is for the one for underage. So as early as whenever, right? You can have a custodial Roth IRA, right? But the thing about it is that they have to have a job, right? Now, how do they have a job? Because they are wondering, how can a 5-year-old have a job? You need to have an LLC, and if they're able to do anything for you as little as picking paper on the printer, you have 2-year-old baby. Okay, if she can crawl and she can walk and pick paper for you, or she can, as little as whatever they can do, right? From your business perspective, you can actually use it. You can actually open a Roth for them, open the account and start putting money for them. And the beautiful thing is, on your own side of the business, it is a tax deductible. So it's like you pay yourself and paying yourself. I mean, it's not you, right? I mean, it's your child, right? Whatever that you pay that child is like it's that you're putting the Roth IRA, you are also be able to claim it as tax deductible. So that is the win-win. I did show you the strategies that the multimillionaire use when it comes to what's it called? What were we talking about? Which one did you show earlier? That I did show you. I did show you about the what's it called? I did show about where are you again? Donations and foundations. I showed that earlier. Donations and foundation, right? I did show that. So that's the thing. They have all the strategies. So think about it. How can you be paying a child of 2 years old? But then it's within the tax code. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing it. That's what the multimillionaires, that's what they do, right? That's what they do. And I'm just trying to see if there's any. Yeah, we just wrap up from here. Let me just see if there was any other one that jumps at me. Okay, let me show this one. There's just so many.
What Marie's talking about right now, you'll cut this in, but this is the chart that shows saving $2,000 a year, starting at the age of 19, only saving it till the age of 26. That's $5.41 a day. And by the time the person reaches 65, they have $1 million. And here's the thing, Marie. So what your 13-year-old, this chart at the end of so Jack read this book in 2 hours and turned to me on a plane flight. I'll show you the pictures later. And he turns to me and he goes, "Dad, is this real?" And I go, "Yeah, it is real." And he goes, how do I get one of these accounts? He goes, because I could do, he goes, I could do this.
Yes.
He goes, it's $5.41 a day. I could do this. So let's open, and he goes, and you started this at 19. What happens if it's at 15? He's like, you should rerun the numbers. I go, actually, I have that chart too. He goes, well, let's open up. And I said, we're going to do a Roth IRA for him. So here's the thing. This little chart is going to change his life, but it changes anybody's life. It happens to be this little chart was shown to me at 26 at Morgan Stanley by a financial advisor retiring at 61 who told our training class, at a minimum, guys, this is what you need to do. And so something as simple as that little chart can change can change anybody's life who's watching this when you look at the math.
So so that's a
What we're
question.
talking about right now, maybe we'll cut it.
So look at what I just described. You were just asking about the Roth IRA. So you want to do things like this, right? This is what the multimillionaires, that's what they use. But unfortunately, the middle class, we are just more focused on, oh, I just want to do my job. If only I can increase my income. If only I can trade more time for money. But that's not going to build you wealth. To build wealth, it's the strategy, all right? It's the strategy. I might be able to come back later. Make sure you click on the follow button if you have not done that. Join the $1 Million League. Make sure, and let me show you as we wrap up now, I'll show you where to find, if you have not registered for the Wealth Building Academy, which is on June the 6th. You don't want to miss that. It's next week, Saturday, not this Saturday. You don't want to miss it. It's free, but registration is required. We have very, very few seats left. Very few seats left, and we're still trying to see if we can extend the seat, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But for the lucky people, for the lucky ones that they can claim their the whatever right now, just claim it. And Queen Sarah, I hope that answers your question right away. I hope that answers your question. And the other thing I was going to ask you, Queen Sarah, did you confirm what we talked about yesterday? You said that they told you that you cannot take money out of you cannot take equity out of your property. Did you check that? I just want to, okay, yeah, okay. Did you check that? I believe it was you that asked the question yesterday.
Most people think you need to have millions or thousands of followers.
Yeah. So if you let me see. So right here, you would find it, Neshu.me. I was right. I'm glad. Please always come back. Always come back to tell me that I was right. Yeah. And I hope you fired that coach. I hope you fired the coach. I hope you fired the coach. I tell you, always trust but verify. Right? But if you don't, make sure that you only take equity if only you use it towards asset. Do not use it towards liability. It's not free money. Remember, you're incurring more debt. You only use it towards good investment. Otherwise, keep your equity where it is and only use it towards another asset or another good debt that is going to generate more money for you. So here, for those that have not joined the Wealth Building Academy, you'll find it also on the YouTube. You'll find the link. It's the only link there. Make sure you click on the subscribe button on the YouTube side. Oh yeah, right here. Click on it. And then it will try to keep you here. Click on open anyway. And I really have to go now. Click on it. The Wealth Building Academy is here. Very few seats left. So you want to make sure you take advantage of, maybe we just have 5 or 10. I'm not sure, right? I need to check that with the team, but don't wait. Take it. It's free. Registration is required. And then you have this for the smart investing. How do you double your money? All of those things that we're talking about, the strategy that you use, whereby you are in the stock market, but you don't lose your money, right? You don't lose your money every step of the way. How do you open it? Is it in the bank account or is it in the investment? How do you set up participation? You would find it right here. Everything right now is at the CSR price. At a discount. The timing is very limited. The prices are going to go back to full price. Right now it's at $27. Typical price is at $297. So the prices are going to be shutting down very soon. You want to take advantage of it and know you've taken care of yourself when it comes to investing, how to go about it. You've been wondering how to invest, but you don't know how. That's going to teach you. And for real estate, you would find it right here. But most importantly, these two at the minimum, right? The investing, and of course, because that's the one that is priced at the lowest, because at least we want to make sure everybody's able to invest. And then this is even $0. This you have to, you want to know how to increase your income. You want to learn, and we have 4 to 6 doctors, including chief information security officer. We're still waiting on the chief people officer. We have executive director of graduate admission in the leading university in California coming to teach us. That we have Dr. O, who is a clinical therapist in out of New York with her own private practice, that's coming to teach as well how you can pivot and all of that. And definitely my humble self will be teaching. We're still waiting for a nurse, doctor of nurse practice, right? We're still waiting on him to also confirm, but it's going to be next Saturday. I think we only have about 10 seats left, and once it's gone, it's gone. So take advantage of it now that the seats are still available, so you are not scrambling later. Because I tell you, this is what 5,000 at least in terms of value, right, that you're going to get. But guess what? Because it's corporate social responsibility, you're getting it for free. All right? Okay, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
How are you? I was talking about the sign for the house police on March Street. No, Copper Mead.
Copper Made, yes, is available.
How much is it a month?